how to move on and what does it even mean. Being experiencing the breakup is very common. Almost everyone has experienced at least one, but what stats said, actually at least 5 breakups in a lifetime. So how are we supposed to move on and what does it even mean? Does it mean getting back on Tinder? Does it mean that we start dating again? Does it mean that we cut off the communication? Or maybe start hating him, is moving on? Or it's something else? In my opinion, it's definitely something else. So let's talk about it. First, getting into dating apps and register on Tinder again. Is it considered as moving on? Honestly saying no, but it depends. You can watch my video about rebound relationships. There I explained it more clearly. But now, in short, getting on dating apps as a distraction, it's not moving on. It's just distracting yourself, which can cause you another breakup. But if you truly are ready to meet new people and you're like, okay, now I'm ready for new relationships. I'm feeling great, I'm happy with myself, now I'm ready to move on. Then register on Tinder again, or Bumble, or Hinge, or whatever dating app you prefer, can be called really moving on. But make sure to check in with yourself that you're not doing it just because your friend told you so. Or come on, stop it, it's enough thinking about him. It's not worth it. Girl, respect your time. Get on dates. Get some attention. You would be feeling great. If there is even a tiny little feeling telling you that I don't want it, don't do it. You're not supposed to listen to anybody, even me, matter of fact. But who you have to listen to is yourself, because you're the only person who really knows what you need and what you want. If you're truly ready to get on dating apps, then go for it, girl. But if you're hesitant, then give yourself a bit more time to process all of this, because there is no actual timeline for every person. Even I recommend strongly to give yourself a deadline for moving on process, because this way your brain would have kind of a date. Then you can extend it if you want. But it would be so much easier for you not to feel that, okay, there is no end for it. I'm gonna feel like this forever. Of course not. Everybody is able to move on. But giving yourself a deadline would make it much easier. Also, moving on doesn't mean that you stop caring about your ex or stop even loving him. You still can love him as a person. But you need to know that you love and care about yourself more. That's what matters. That's what's real moving on. When you start taking yourself first and not thinking about what did he do, what did I do, how is he feeling, stop caring about his feelings. Think about yourself now. If you truly want to move on, it's time to be a bit selfish, and not maybe a bit, maybe a lot, but focus on yourself. Thinking about your true happiness, care about your feelings, and then it would be really moving on process, because you have to pick yourself. Moving on doesn't mean cutting off the communication with your ex, because you still can be good friends. Matter of fact, you probably had really strong connection with him at some point. So why do you have to even cut it off? Because cutting off the communication doesn't mean cutting off the emotions and the feelings. You still can experience this terror of emotions every single day, even if you don't communicate, especially sometimes when you don't communicate. So that actually doesn't help moving on. I'm not telling you have to call him or text right now. Sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. It really depends what was the setting of your relationships and how you guys broke up. There are many things which you need to take into account. But just cutting off doesn't mean moving on. So this doesn't have to be considered just by one single pattern. You have to see your true emotions and your feelings. Once you process them, once you process your emotions one by one, then you will be able to move on. Then it will be so much easier. One of the ways how you can do it is start journaling your emotions. For example, every single day, write down, how are you feeling? How did you feel today? Were you happy today? Were you sad today? Were you agitated today? What was it about? First of all, it will raise your self-awareness and you will be able to see the progress. Often we think that oh my God, I'm still thinking about him. He's not out of my head. But then we see like after 2 months, if for example, in the very beginning, you were thinking about him like 20 hours a day, and now it's only like 2. And it would be like, wow, that's actually progress. Then it would come to 2 minutes, and then probably even for 2 days, 2 months, and maybe you wouldn't even come back to the thoughts of him. So it's very important to track your progress. And journaling emotions is really powerful tool. For example, on my coaching, I offer journal coach, and I read the journals of my clients because they often miss their blind spot. They write down the emotions and they're in the tarot, and then I'm reading it and like, by the way, do you know how much progress you made? And they're like, wow, true. But you can also see it by yourself. Because if you just reread it, for example, you write it every single day for 2 weeks, and then you go back for 2 weeks behind, and then you see, wow, I actually feel so much better now. Another thing, in order to make yourself being able to move on and feel better, is making your routine. Taking care of yourself, focusing on yourself is very important. Checking in with yourself. Okay, what are you doing? Am I doing any destructive behavior? Because getting into destructive behavior is very common after a breakup, and this what stops you from moving on. If you start going to parties, drinking alcohol, I don't know, like doing any other bad stuff, this wouldn't help you to move on. It would only give bad influence on your health, matter of fact, and would really mess up your emotions. Because if you have a crazy party and then you hang out, then your emotions up and down, and then you are not able to truly process them, because you're like, okay, is it really how I feel? And you're like, oh my God, I'm dead, I'm devastated. It's like and then you think about your ex, and you're like, shit, like, oh my God, what am I supposed to do now? I feel so sick and I feel so desperate, and then yesterday I did this stupid thing in the bar. So stop doing this to yourself. Dedicate at least like 2 or 3 months to completely healthy lifestyle. This way your emotions will get so much better, just because you wouldn't be messing up with other substances. So choose yourself, take care of yourself, respect your time, pick the best lifestyle for yourself. If you start doing this, then moving on would be so much easier. And if you need the exact steps how to move on, you can download my free breakup guide. There you will see 11 exact steps how to deal with the breakup much easier. And I have other videos about breakup. Check them on my YouTube channel. Subscribe and like this video. Wish you a great day.